Hey everyone, it's Ryan here. I just finished actually doing my first buyer's presentation as a real estate agent. And I think one of the most beneficial things for me was actually using a presentation that I created, actually like a slide format. And I used a free tool online that I'm going to show you in this video, how you can create your own free presentation to be able to present it to buyers, have them take you actually seriously because you know what you're doing, you're showing them that you know what you're doing, you're showing them all the data points, all the things that you'll provide for them, and give them a quick rundown of your services so that hopefully you'll be able to have them sign just like I did with an exclusive agency agreement so that you'll be able to represent them as your clients, and all goes from there. So let's jump on over to the computer and I'll show you guys that presentation. Hey, so here we are on the computer. I'm on the actual Canva website, and feel free to take any notes you'd like as we go along with this. One of the things that I wanted to be able to do is show you guys all the key points and stuff like that I used when creating my presentation. So the place where I started was actually went to canva.com. It's totally free. You can pay for it if you want some more advanced features and stuff like that, some more complex animations, but for me, I just wanted to be the free version because I knew I could do, honestly, at the end of the day, it's just a tool. You're the one who provides the presentation, and your connection that you build with your clients is what will really carry you, not the features that you pay for in the presentation. So I could have done this just as well using Google Slides, but for me, I found that Canva was pretty beneficial. So I actually went over to the template side of Canva here, and I just honestly looked up the blueprint. So I looked up real estate blueprint and ended up finding a couple of different templates and stuff like that. You can scroll through, find one that meets really well with you, because at the end of the day, what you're gonna have to do is just kind of change out all the images. You're not, this is not what's really selling your clients. It's your presentation as an individual that's selling your clients. And so don't invest a lot of money into something like this. It's one of those things where, yes, you need it to look good, you need it to be appealing, but at the end of the day, if people are just looking at your presentation while you're giving it, they're gonna get lost, they're gonna get bored. At the end of the day, it's not one of those things where you can just set a video down and let them watch it. You can, but at the end of the day, they have to be engaged first to be able to do that, and you're the one who helps provide that engagement. So we have all these different options. You can select one and you can just make a copy of it. That's what I did. I just found one that I liked, and then I ended up making a copy of it. It's totally free to use. And then I ended up with this. So I actually added the company logo up at the top, ended up changing the title here, and then put those presented by me just so people know who I am up front, even though I am saying who I am. And hopefully the person that I've built a connection with already knows me. I already have a connection with them before even representing them, but this is where it starts off, just on the title page. And so we can kind of run through my presentation. Feel free to take any notes you'd like if this is something that you think would be beneficial to you in your presentation. So we just have the second slide, which is our agenda. Some of the discussion points. The main key points that I touch on is I talk about our brokerage. I don't go too in depth though, because honestly, at the end of the day, they care about your services and your standards that you're offering. They don't really care about the life story of your business. It does matter, but it's not a big deal here. You're helping them buy a home. So you talk about your group. I only limited this to one slide. And then our mission, common buying concerns, buyer's blueprint timeline, our different services, working with us, what we can do for you, and our simple buying process. So for me, a lot of this PowerPoint was actually influenced by, as a realtor, I believe in California, he's a part of Bigger Pockets, called David Green. And he talked about how he had basically a buyer's blueprint that he created for people to be able to get a better idea of the home buying process. I think there's a book by a guy named Daniel Pink that I read that talked about how one of the solutions to public transportation that was found was that people got really bored trying to figure out when the train was going to come. They didn't know when it was going to get there, and so one thing that they implemented was something like, and I know I'm skipping ahead, but something like a timeline. And so this is something that this presentation really highlights, is having a timeline to help people, get people engaged and keep them in the process and understanding what's to come next, because at the end of the day, your goal is to get to closing, and you want to know how far away you are and what you still have to do to get there. So that's one of the things that is really highlighted, is just the timeline aspect of this. So I jump to the next slide, talk about the group. It's really just a one-liner, because at the end of the day, yes, we want people to know about our company, but we should be able to do that through word of mouth a lot more than just a presentation slide, because at the end of the day, they're only really seeing this if we're sitting down and talking about it. So don't want to bore them with too much information, too much text. Stuff like this, it's not going to really carry over as well when it comes to the presenting side of things. So I have a simple slide about myself, just kind of giving an idea of who I am, jumping off points, fact that I have some experience with property management, just kind of some details of my skills, stuff like that. And then we have our mission statement. Now, this is something that comes from the actual brokerage itself, something that I paste up there. Just at the end of the day, not too much text, but just enough to give an idea of all the information you're trying to convey. Then we also have our common buying concerns. Now, this takes up 3 slides. I'm going to skip through the last slide to show it all. Just some simple buying concerns that people are mainly concerned with, some of the key points, not knowing what to look for, financial stress, clueless, and where to begin. And then we get on to the timeline. Now, this is one of the things where I like to be able to present to people and say, hey, this is all the steps that we have to go through, but luckily it's only 6 steps. And when you break it down to those bite-sized pieces, it becomes a lot easier for people to digest the home buying opportunity. So that's one of the takeaways that I really wanted to show off in this video, is the fact that a timeline can really help out people get a better idea of how long the process is going to take. Cover some of our different services, what we offer, and this may differ based on your brokerage, stuff like that, but just wanted to cover it. And then simple buying process. At the end of the day, trying to break everything down into bite-sized chunks so it's easier for people to understand. Kind of gives an idea of how everything works. You can even put a slide for your contact information, where people can find you online, and then also just a final thank you slide. By this point, you should have been able to convey all the information you've needed, and you should be able to ask them for your business. I would hope that they would sign and that you'd be able to help provide them an excellent service. Hopefully this helps you out if you're trying to throw together a presentation for people to be able to get a better understanding of what it takes to buy a home. I'll be working on a listing presentation as well, something I may show on this channel as well, just to be able to give people a better idea of some of the key points that they need to hit on. Some people just aren't I mean, me starting out, I didn't know what key points I needed to hit on, but once I kind of put all the pieces together, it really helped me out. So I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to let me know what you think about it, and I'll see you in the next one.